All right, now you ready to get these running back rankings in, baby?
Wow.
Uh-oh. He said, wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This was tough looking back. I'm gonna be in a tough spot here whenever I rank these.
No, trust me, I'm with you, man.
Are you questioning things?
I'm good on my top 3, maybe.
I don't think I am anymore.
I'm not good at all, though. For a fact, I feel like I know who my top 4 are, but the order, I can keep switching it, and then my 4, 5, and 6s. I'm like, I can move those around too. So yeah. Man. But anywho, you want to lead this off, man?
Yeah.
You start with your 5.
Do the same thing.
All right, yeah. So you go with your 5 first, and I'll name my number 5 after that.
Okay. So yeah, I was between a few players on this one. Yeah. Chuba Hubbard was in the mix. Mm-hmm. Trey Sermon was in the mix. Yeah. But I had to go with my guy that I've been talking about ever since we started talking these rankings and running backs. Kylan Hill, dude. Yeah. I gotta go with him, man. I'm watching these highlights, and I think he's a little bit shorter than him. Mm-hmm. He looks like Arian Foster to me, honestly.
Okay.
I see some of the juke moves. He's got the speed where he could just burn cornerbacks and safeties when he gets to the second level. I don't know if it's the white socks, because I guess that
you always wear white. It makes you look faster, bro.
Yeah. Where did he play? It was Mississippi State, right? So he has these high white socks with the white shoes, and that's exactly what Arian Foster wore. Faster,
bro. It always makes you look faster.
But I'm telling you, because I looked at some of Arian Foster's plays.
Yeah.
They got similar juke moves. They kind of got similar animations and stuff. So
Arian Foster was a great running back. Let's not act like he wasn't doing his thing for a while down in Houston, man.
So with Kylan Hill, I mean, he balled out in the SEC. He sat out this year, so I don't know if that's why his stock's down a little bit. But dude, I really like Kylan Hill. I'm gonna stick with him at 5. But honestly, you could have told me Sermon. You could have told me Hubbard. Yeah. I'm not gonna be too against that. But I'm just high on Hill. I think this is like my one take that I'm throwing out there. If it comes to be, we're gonna look back on it and say, hey, Deke knew something there.
So I like how you have your one hot take. I have one as well.
Okay.
So for me at number 5, I have Rhamondre Stevenson, the running back out of Oklahoma.
Bowling ball.
Absolutely. Now, this is my thing. So the size, they say he's 6 foot 246. But when I looked at him last year, he reminds me of Fred Jackson from Buffalo. You remember in Buffalo Bills, right?
Yeah.
Fred Jackson style of running in terms of bigger back, fast enough, great natural feel, love his footwork in the hole, is a punishing back though, right? But not the same. But like with Rhamondre, even though he's built like LeGarrette, he doesn't run like LeGarrette Blount. He's not a one cut downhill. Right. Like this dude, he has a little wiggle. You watch him, he's a smooth runner. And I love that about him. And not only does he have great vision, I feel like because of the natural size that he has, him in terms of pass blocking is going to be a lot easier to coach up, because a lot of times with the running backs, when it comes to pass blocking, they're usually just smaller. So they got to get past the mentality of, oh, this is going to hurt. It is going to hurt. But they got to get over that, right? Sure. And they got to figure, okay, do I want to fake the cut? Do I want to cut? But I can't cut because I got this quarterback right here. So that's why it becomes more of a challenge for them. With Rhamondre, he's going to be bigger. He's going to be the same size or bigger than some of these guys out here. So for him, that mental element isn't going to be the same. It's going to more so be a technique thing for him, which I feel like in Pittsburgh, we're going to coach that up. But I will say with him, I think he has the potential to be a feature back. I don't think he is right now. I think he's a committee guy as soon as he comes in here. He's a committee guy. But I do think if he loses some weight and he does develop to be a Fred Jackson style running back, he could be a feature back for a team. Not saying he's going to be an all-pro, but I just think he has that capability, man.
What about Le'Veon even? Because Le'Veon's thighs were huge in college too.
See, I just don't think...
He looked completely different his second year from his rookie and his college years.
Like, to me, Rhamondre, his agility isn't as, like, think about when you watch El Bell, how explosive he is coming out of them cuts. The dead leg is crazy because how explosive he could just put the leg out there and it's like no ACL on it, just burst it out. Rhamondre isn't like that, but he has that smoothness where he can sit you down if he needs to. He has the smoothness where he can stick that leg out there. It's not going to be as explosive, but he can get that. And that's the reason why I said more Fred Jackson than Le'Veon. You know what I mean? Because with El Bell, that thing's different.
Maybe at least the transformation, like the body transformation, though, potentially.
But and he could do that. To me personally, though, I don't want him to drop down that much. I want him to drop down about 5 to 10 get in that 230. Get about 230, 235 range. If you can get there, you're going to be plenty fast. You're still going to have great size, but you're going to wear on the defense. When you start getting lower in them 220s and lower, you're not going to wear on them the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think. Zeke, he's up in them 220s, 230s. Like, he does it, but not a lot of these smaller backs are going to wear on you for 4 quarters when they're not in them, high 220, 232, you know what I mean? That range. So that's why for me, I think you drop just 5 to 10 off of them. Perfect. I love it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man. All right, who you got at number 4?
We haven't really talked about him at all.
Michael
Carter, dude.
I like you.
Dude, the juke moves.
The
speed. It's unbelievable.
Say it.
What a comparison.
Who do you think?
Oh, man. I didn't think of anyone right off the bat, to be honest with you.
Oh, man, I thought it was an obvious one. Oh, my gosh.
Are you saying Fast Willie? No, I don't know. I don't have a comparison.
It reminds me of the other running back in Philly, not named Shady McCoy.
I was thinking some of his cuts were like Shady, but he didn't seem like he ran like Shady.
Sproles.
Okay.
I'm thinking Sproles. When I see him undersized, right? I think the kid, he's 2 inches taller than Sproles and about 7 to 8 pounds heavier than Sproles. But in terms of their running styles, you watch him, you watch Sproles. I feel like number 1 for Michael Carter.
You got him at 4 too?
I did. That's kind of I just hopped right there with you.
No, that's good. I like that.
I think
our lists are pretty good so
far.
I
think off break day 1, he's your punt return. Like he brings you that right there in terms of just open field, make you miss ability, but not the same style of runner as Ray. We know Ray, he's going to give you, the one cut and then he's going. Whereas we said with Deontay is more the lateral wiggle. This guy, he's got the lateral wiggle,
he's got both.
But he can still go to and that's the thing I love about him. And then when you watch him on tape, I'm just like, dude, it's like flip a coin. Which one you like better between Michael Carter and Javonte Williams? I feel like Javonte has a little bit more size on him, and I think he's
a little bit more of a bruiser.
He is. He definitely is. But with Mike, I'm like, he has that button where he could just to the house, and I love that. Something about that speed.
What did North Carolina finish?
Bro,
how are they not as good? Isn't their quarterback supposed to be the number 1 prospect next year?
So you got this crazy quarterback. You had this 2-headed monster at running back. You got Chaz Surratt on defense. Like, what's going on? But they were really good this year. I do remember them being good.
I do think they were ranked. Yeah.
They've been really good since Mac Brown has came back there. Yeah, they've been really good there because Mac is there, and then Dre Bly is their secondary coach. And always I know Drake because hometown 757. So I'm always like, let me keep it with the guys. And yeah, he always posting about those guys. I'm like, all right, they doing the thing. But yeah, I don't know how they weren't like killing everybody with this, man. But you see him, man, when he runs that rock ball, that lateral. Oh my gosh, he has that. Definitely has that, man. Now, this is my only thing.
I'm torn, dude.
Uh-oh.
No, you go.
So I was going to say also with Michael, I think with him too, he's definitely a committee guy. I don't think you're ever going to be able to use him as like a feature back. And I think that's another reason why people have Javonte slated higher than him. Because Javonte gives you that vibe. Whereas with Michael, I mean, best case, he's Sproles. But yeah, I just don't think that even Sproles best
which may be more valuable in today's NFL. Maybe he's used a little bit more. Yeah, maybe it's almost
he's a mismatch as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like you could line him up almost like you'd line up like Tyreek Hill or something like that, but then have him in the backfield too. Like, you could move them all around the field.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think they were really doing that with Sproles. Like they were, but they could have.
But
I think now he could be on the field like 80.
Oh, in today's NFL, time, absolutely.
Even though he's not the featured running back.
Absolutely. Which makes him very intriguing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, top 3.
Oh, here we go. Oh, before we get our top 3.
Okay.
You already know in the comment section, drop your top 5 NFL draft running backs that we got coming out this year. Let me see your list.
That's good time.
I'm seeing some people's lists over here. Okay. Shout out to y'all already getting on the movement too. All right, so let's start with Call Me K before we're at that number 3 mark.
Let's hear it.
So Call Me K has Trey Sermon at 5. Oh, okay.
I was thinking about it.
I got Trey. He's one of my honorable mentions. I got all right. So they had Trey Sermon at 5, Michael Carter at 4, Javonte Williams at 3, Najee Harris at 2, Travis Etienne at 1. That's Call Me K. All right. Then Cole Fitzsimmons has 1A, Najee Harris, 1B, Travis Etienne, 1C, Javonte Williams, Trey Sermon, and Michael Carter. He's have them all lumped in there. All right. We got my boy Damo saying a sleeper pick is Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis. Yep. All right. We got Javon Roselle says Michael Carter at 5, Kenneth Gainwell again at 4. At number 3, Najee Harris. 2, Travis Etienne. At 1, Javonte Williams. Interesting. And then Bubba has a similar sentiment here. Trey Sermon at 5, Michael Carter at 4, Travis Etienne at 3, Najee Harris at 2, Javonte at 1. All right. I like how we mix it up a little bit, baby. You gotta mix it up a little bit. While we mix it up, make sure y'all subscribing too, man. While we just gonna mix it up, and just subscribe. It's the red button. Boom. Can't miss it.
Those last 2 comments, I'm starting to lean their way.
No, you for real? Okay, I like it.
I don't know what's happened to me, but
it's draft season.
I'm not gonna go all the way there. But what I am gonna do, you might get mad at me.
Oh, here we go.
Bumping Etienne down 1.
Okay.
Etienne's 3.
Okay.
I got Williams at 2, dude.
Okay.
I'm borderline ready to put him at 1. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm almost there because I think he could do it all.
Okay.
I've just been so high on Harris, I can't bump him off that quick.
It's cool, baby. I'm not
so
tripping.
Before the draft comes, Williams may be my number 1 pick.
And that's completely fine, man. That's completely fine. He's a really good player, without a doubt.
Dude, I just really like what I see. It's the combination that he brings of this speed, and then he'll bulldoze over people.
Mm-hmm.
Harris, though, he's done it in the SEC. There's things about Javonte, just his running style. It looks so much more smoother. I guess you could even say Etienne as opposed to Harris. But Harris, man, even though he was with Alabama, I've seen many times where he's getting stopped about like at the 2 or 3 yard line, and then he's just making stuff happen, whether it's juking, he's power throughing guys. And it was in the SEC. To do that at Alabama, that's really impressive. So I'm not going to knock him off just yet. Maybe I got to grind the tapes a little bit harder. But I'm going to go Harris 1, Williams 2, Etienne 3.
Okay. So for me,
I'm almost putting Williams 1, dude. But I'm sticking with Harris.
So for me, I have Williams at 3. To me, he looks like a slower Dalvin Cook. In terms of a one-cut downhill guy, he will run through you, yes, without a doubt, but he's not going to wiggle you to death. He doesn't have that, whereas Michael does. So that was my one thing with him. And like I said, I like Dalvin Cook's game, but to me, when I think
you're not the biggest Dalvin Cook guy.
I'm not. So that's why for me, I'm like, and Dalvin Cook is a really good player. And it's not a knock on him. It's just for me, it's certain things I like about my running backs. And I want my running back to have that wiggle and be able to take it to the house.
Do you know how many people flipped out on us when we said we'd take Fournette over Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones?
Oh, man, good.
It was hilarious, dude.
But you know how I feel about that. Like, and Dalvin's a good back, but you watch his style. He's not lateral. No, he's a one-cut downhill guy. And the difference is, the reason why I keep bringing up Dalvin versus Javonte is, like I said, their styles are very similar in terms of how they run. But with Dalvin has a faster gear. When Dalvin hits that hole, man, if you're not there, that thing can go 80. With Javonte, not the same always.
Just not there yet.
Could develop. I just haven't seen a lot of guys get drastically faster once they make it to the pro level. That's my only thing. But the one thing I do like about Javonte is not a lot of wear and tear. We talked about he's young. We talked about him sharing the backfield with Michael Carter.
It's crazy.
I love all of those things. Yeah. Absolutely. I love that, man.
He's 20 years old right now. He's going to be 21 when the draft hits.
So if we're talking long term, this is beautiful, right? Because we know the running back position. We know the shelf life on it as well.
With him being that young, maybe you could gain speed.
Well, you never know, right? I've just never seen it at that level. That's just me personally. I haven't seen it.
He just spends one offseason devoted to the speed training.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Just like you have, is it Dion? Who's a couple of these guys? They're working with some dude named the Route God out in Cali.
Oh yeah, just helps you. Yeah. Get your crisp route running.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and then you got the footwork doctor down in Texas. Let's see. You got. I forgot the other guy's name. He's in Florida. Bomberitos. Yeah. Everybody got their name, man.
They need a guy to Speed King, so he could go to the Speed King.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he'll work on that one of these off seasons.
I do like his game though, and I do think very similar to Michael Carter, he is a mismatch as a receiver. He can go out there and catch the rock and do what he do out there. Like I said, it's a dope back, and he has the potential to be a feature back, just like the other two guys in terms of Harris and Etienne. Very similar in terms of what you're projecting these guys to be. But the reason why I have him at 3 is because, like I said, I think his pro comparison is Dalvin Cook. Whereas when I name my 2 and 1, so I have Najee Harris at 2, I got Travis Etienne at 1. My comparisons for them, Najee is L. Bell. He looks like L. Bell.
Definitely.
I'm taking L. Bell over Dalvin Cook Prime L Bell, not right now L Bell, but prime L Bell, I'm taking over Dalvin Cook 7 days a week. Like, that's just how I feel about him. And when I watch Najee gives me that vibe. Bigger back, great vision, great footwork, athletic, can jump over guys. He's going to hit the hole. He's going to get you into the foot race. He's just never going to win the foot race, which is fine. But if it's 30 and in, I like Najee. 30 and in, I got my money on Najee because he's going to make something happen.
But you want to give him 20, 25 carries and just have him dominate,
and he
too.
Can do that. He has the size for that. He is the back we talked about. Going to wear on you.
You're talking me back.
He's talking me back.
Thank you.
The size that he has. We talked about with Javonte. We said, man, pass blocking. How's that going to look? You're not worried about that with Najee. With his size, it's the same conversation we had with Rhamondre Stevenson. We just got to coach your technique up, baby. That's it, because you got the size. You're going to be big as these guys coming in.
He was good, too, by all accounts.
So that's my thing. When I look at him, I'm like, I love his game. He reminds me of L Bell. Y'all know how I felt about L Bell when he was here. Like, that's dude, that's my running back. I love that dude's game. So that's why I have why I have Harris at 2. Now, the reason why I have Etienne at 1 is because Etienne, when I watch him on tape, I think Saquon. That's where I think Zeke. And this is my thing in terms of just big play capability. Can just change the dynamic of a game in one play. Harris doesn't have that. Harris isn't going to just, he's going to go 70 right now. Harris isn't doing that. Javonte, I don't think is doing that personally. Michael Carter can, but we already said with Michael Carter some of his limitations. With Etienne, he's built like Dalvin Cook in terms of size and in terms of height and weight, but his play style is more similar to the Saquons and the Zekes in terms of just the explosiveness, the lateral ability. He can catch out the backfield. You put him up. All right, we're gonna line him up outside on 3rd down. All right, cool. He gonna torch whatever linebacker you put out there. Sure. All right, if he makes one guy missing that hole, it's a track meet. And I like my money on Travis right there. Like, that's what he is. The blocking, that's what we're gonna have to see. He didn't really have to do a lot of it, but we're going to have to see that. And we talked about just what that could be and what you could do to work around it in terms of, all right, if he's not the best blocker, all right, well, this is what we'll do then. Every time you in here, you're going to check release. That's your job. You're just going to chip this in, and then you turn it around, I'm dumping it to you, and now you go to work. That's my thought process with him. I'm not going to keep him in there and make him have to hold up against these big guys. No. You good. We good. We can work around that. But to me, Etienne has home run ability, and he has the better size than your Michael Carters and stuff like that. And he has the lateral. Like, I love how he could just sit a guy down. You think about how Najee, when you watch Najee will sit you down.
Sure. We
said with Javonte, you don't see a lot of him just sitting a guy down with his wiggle. That's not his game. Travis has the wiggle, but then can take it to the house as well. So that's why for me, I got Etienne at 1, which is why he's been at 1 for the past 2 years. And now all of a sudden that he's available and people are bringing up this close to the draft. Now all of a sudden it's, well, maybe he's not as good. But 2 years ago, and then even 3 months ago, we was all talking about how he's the best running back price we've seen for a while right now. But now it's different.
So were you questioning your list at all? Because it seemed like you were like,
no, I was good on my top 3.
Okay.
It was
the rest of your list.
4 or 5 because, like, when I think of Trey Sermon, I was like, man, he reminds me of Melvin Gordon, but doesn't have the home run speed the same way, but smooth, just natural feel. When I looked at Chuba Hubbard, I said, man, lightning fast, fumble issues, which I don't like, but I was like, that's a poor man's Christian McCaffrey right here. Like, I don't see it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But no. But poor man, because you got to think with McCaffrey. McCaffrey is elite because he gonna make you miss, and he can go to the crib, right? He gives you the go to the crib part. He's not giving you a ton of the make you miss part, right. And that's why I said poor man. So even though you hear the name, I give you the name because it's somebody that everybody can recognize. But
and you could see it though,
right? Like you can see the framework of it, but we're not saying that he's on that level. Yeah. But it's just the easier comparison. Oh, okay, that makes sense right there.
All right, you've talked me off the ledge with Harris and Williams for now, so I'm good with Harris at 1 still. I'm good with Harris.
All right,
at
I'm
1.
with you, man. I'm with you. And let's see, we got some more coming in for their list. We'll see how they ranking with us.
Okay.
So we have, let's see, Sky Hunter, Trey Sermon at 5, Michael Carter at 4, Etienne at 3, Javonte Williams at 2, and then Najee at 1. So that's similar to you.
You just got to put Kylan Hill at that 5 spot.
Then we got Jarrett, was it Slingerland, has Kenneth Gainwell at 5, Javonte Williams at 4, Trey Sermon at 3.
Whoa.
Etienne at 2, Harris at 1.
You know what? I will say this. Whenever I was watching some stuff on Trey Sermon, I was thinking like, wait, how is this dude not like in the top 3?
Yeah.
But then, you just watch the other guys.
This is different, bro.
You level your head out a little bit. You're like, okay, I could see. Like he doesn't have too much now with Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. They didn't get too many carries. Trey Sermon really didn't either. I don't know what was going. Did they have a second back that they were using?
I don't know.
He didn't have too many carries, but there were games where he'd get 20 or 30, and that's when he had like 300 yards versus Northwestern and like in the playoffs against Clemson, like crazy.
Yeah. With Trey, I just don't know what his ceiling is in terms of, like, I feel like you draft him, he's a committee guy right now. Could he develop into that? Sure. Like I said, that's why I had him as more of like the Melvin Gordon type, just looking at their styles of run. You know what I mean? But you know how I feel about Melvin. I'm like, I'm
not the biggest fan.
I'm like, can he be a feature? Sure, but it's kind of like that conversation of wide receiver 1 versus a franchise wide receiver.
Wow.
Is he RB1 or is he a franchise running back? Like,
that's deep, dude.
That's how I feel. But with Melvin, I'm like, you're
RB1.
That's
a perfect way to put it.
Are you Are you Saquon? Are you Zeke? Are you L. Bell in his prime? Like, I don't think that he's ever gonna be that. But he's still a quality running back. You still want him on your team.
He'll do the things that will get you through a game as a starter. Like he'll block. He'll maybe get you 60, 70 yards, maybe a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Well, does he fumble a lot? Did you say he fumbles?
No. Chuba's the one that got the fumbles.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know the exact record on Melvin Gordon's fumbles, but it seems like he can get you through a game as a starter. Yeah. Be pretty competent. But yeah, you're right. He's not that next level, like top 5, top 10.
It's different, right?
Yeah, he never really has been, in my opinion. He's been good fantasy wise. A lot of people really like him in fantasy because he was like, you talk about RB1, like he was getting all the touches with the Chargers. So like he was putting up
heavy usage,
in terms of touchdowns and stuff, but his yards per carry was never completely there. But he would just rack up a decent amount of stats just because of the usage.
Without a doubt, man.
I like it. So those are our running back licks then.
Yes, indeed. Like we're good.
Dude, I will say this though.
I was gonna say they say he was splitting carries with Master Teague.
Okay.
Over at Ohio State, that's who was splitting carries with.
Okay.
Yep.
So what I will say though about the running backs after looking at a bunch of these guys now, going a little deeper into my analysis.
Here we go.
I really don't want us to take a running back in round 1 now. I really don't, because I think, like you said, Trey Sermon. Who's to say you draft him in the 3rd or 4th round? I see the upside. It's just like, could it be there at the NFL level? Could he handle that type of workload? You've seen flashes in college, but any of these guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, they look just as good as some of these top 3 guys in moments. So I do not want to draft a running back in round 1. But if we do, I'll be excited. If we draft Harris, Etienne, whoever it is, I'm going to be pumped. But
I'm going to be hyped as long as it's one of those top 3 guys that we talked about. If it's Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, or Travis Etienne, any of those 3, I like in terms of 1st round. If we're not taking one of those 3, I personally don't want to take that person in the 1st round. I just think that those 3 guys are separate in terms of their size, playmaking ability, productivity, and things like that. But if we don't get one of those 3, I still feel like this is a deep enough draft where you can get one of these guys. And we talked about the whole committee approach versus a feature back approach. You don't have to have a feature back to be successful. To improve the running game, it doesn't have to be this, all right, we got this great talent at running back.
Like if we got Carter in the 3rd round.
You see what I mean?
I don't know if he's going to be in the 3rd round. But we got Carter in the 3rd round. We take one of these linemen in the 2nd round. Or maybe we can just double up. I mean, it'd be a completely different game.
I like it like that.
Where the RB1 necessity that we think we all need to have is just not really there if we could just fix the offensive line.
And the shelf life. That's my other thing, because I'm asking myself, okay, with Najee.
Bell is still out there. What are we doing?
But this is the thing that I get right when I think of this. I'm just like, even though, these might be great players and great prospects, how long are we going to get that great level of play? I'm just thinking to myself, like, what running back did we see come in and have a 10-year just stretch of dominance? Not 7 good years, 3 bad years, or all right, he got 5 good years, 2, and then he's kind of on a roster hanging out. Like, who have we
been
seen?
Since AP, really?
Right,
and even then he was out a couple seasons, like in the latter part of that.
I thought Shady McCoy, but I was like, when Shady that last year in Buffalo, you started to see him take a downturn.
But he had like a good, you're right, like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Running backs aren't doing that these days.
That's my thing. I'm just
like Zeke. I mean, he had that peak for 3-4 years, but now
at him right now, like, it ain't been the same since Cabo.
Well, let me look up.
That's saying right.
Let me look up LaShawn McCoy. Okay, 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. So Philly, his rookie season, he had
because he was crazy early on. Like he was dominant. We know that.
Yeah, so
what year is this for him
I'd
right
say
now?
09 to 17. Like, he was really solid.
Yeah.
Really solid. So what is that? How many years? That's 8, I guess.
Yeah.
8, 9. But like his rookie season, he only had 637. His 1,000-yard stretch went from 2010 to 2017. I think that's 8 years.
Yeah.
If you do the math, because you have to count like the 2010.
Year. Yeah.
So yeah, it's maybe that's 7. 2010, 11,
No, it's
12,
8. It's 8.
13, 14, 15, 16. You're right.
Yeah, because you count the first one. Yeah. But and even that's like a great career. It's great, but it's still 10. It wasn't like, I mean, not saying that he's still not playing, but we're talking like the dominance, right?
The top guys right now, it's McCaffrey, it's Zeke Elliott, like we said, Dalvin Cook, he's been hurt. McCaffrey's been hurt. Saquon Barkley's hurt. Now. That's why I don't. This is another reason I don't want to draft a running back in round 1.
I'm with you. I'm just like, I don't want to touch that. Yeah.
Second or third round would be good with me.
Yeah. Because, like you said, we think about when Zeke came in, he set the league on fire. Saquon set the league on fire. All these guys set it on fire. Gurley set the league on fire.
Bell even too.
Bell, he just like,
he was hurt.
And then after a couple years, it's like, dang, it ain't the same anymore.
Yeah, James Conner wasn't on Bell's level, but the production was almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And same with D'Angelo, actually. We didn't miss a beat when we lost Le'Veon. There were certain things you missed.
Yeah.
Certain little things, but holy hell, the offense was still pretty damn good with D'Angelo, and he was. Did he lead the league in touchdowns? He had a ton of touchdowns.
No, one year, the first year he got here,
yeah,
I thought he did.
Because he I think he played the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
He lit it up.
Yeah.
And then Bell came back, and then Bell got hurt in the Bengals game from Burfict.
And then he killed it again.
Yeah, D'Angelo played like 9 or 10 games that year as a starter.
Yep.
He had double-digit touchdowns. Like, his pace was crazy.
People forgot, too, like, D'Lo was a monster in Carolina. People, I don't know why everybody.
But he was like splitting carries. He was splitting
with Stewart, but he was still like when he left there, he was like their all-time leading rusher, all-time leading in terms of like rushing. He had all their records. Like, he could still get it done.
He just wasn't that 1,500-yard guy per season, but he would have probably if he would have been the starter with the Steelers the whole time. But the funny thing
was this though, man. When he came to Pittsburgh, the thing that Coach Tomlin did to get him right, he had him drop weight. He had him cut about 15 pounds. The same L. Bill conversation that Coach T had with L. Bill to make him drop that weight. Same conversation with D'Angelo. And it was funny because this time I was living in Charlotte, so we were trained on the offseason down there. And I was laughing. Like, we go out there, I'm like, bro, why are you starving yourself? He's like, Coach Thomas, I got to come back and I got to weigh this number right here. I can't be. He's like, as long as I'm below this number, I'm good. Every week you would see him have to be down. He would starve himself down. But you could just see how much more productive he was, how faster he looked, how much twitcher he looked. So that was another thing too, man. But it goes back to just say, like, man, you don't have to get these guys in this first round. I personally don't think you do.
No.
Because the shelf life, I mean, we're looking at a 4-year window, 4 or 5 year window of dominance. And then after that, it's, all right, contracts, hit or miss. Is he still productive? Like, what's going on with him?
Yeah, I'm over it completely. You could have had Leonard Fournette for like $3 or $4 million. Le'Veon Bell's still out there right now. So wait, how do you feel? Here's a nice little hypothetical. How do you feel about Kalen Ballage straight up right now versus some of these backs? Like, would you rank him in the top 5?
The thing is this. Kalen has the framework. Kalen doesn't have the productivity. These guys, I don't have to question the framework or the productivity. It shows. It's right there. I click the tape on. I don't have to search for plays. I should like seriously, and it's not a knock on Kalen, but like, when you cut Kalen's tape, when you got, all right, let me watch through this thing and try to find some like good plays. Okay, this highlights that highlights that. Now, some players it's easier to find, but others it's like, all right, I shouldn't have to look this long. Whereas with these type of guys, it's like, I don't have to question these guys' speed. I don't have to question, can this guy put it together off the backfield as a receiver? I don't have to question this guy's pass blocking ability. It shows, it flashes, it jumps off. And that's my only thing in terms of Kalen. Can Kalen be effective with our offense? Absolutely. You improve the offensive line and you get a speed guy to pair with him, however you want to do, whether you think McFarland's the guy, whether you draft the guy, or if you want to just go double power, you know, him and Benny Snell, you can do that too. But to me, it's just like, I think he's still committee right now. Whereas when we're talking about Harris, we're talking about Etienne, we're talking about Williams, I feel like they come in and day one, they're the feature. And that to me is the difference of why, if we're going to get one of those guys, sure. But if we're not touching them, say they're only first round guys, we would have to get them in the first round. I would much rather pass on those guys in the first, get an O-lineman or go linebacker. And whichever one I do, if I go linebacker in the first round, okay, I'm going O-line in the second round. If I went O-line in the first round, then I'm going to go linebacker in the second round. Like, I will flip-flop it that way. That's just me personally. And then maybe
I would do.
Try to pick up one of these other backs we've been talking about in the 3rd round or 4th round potentially. Because I just think in a committee approach with the improved offensive line, we can still have a very effective running game. Teams aren't going to be able to pack the box like they want to if we can just make it effective a little bit, because we still have weapons on the outside. The biggest thing is stretching the field. Ben can stretch the field with these receivers. We're good. Sure. Now you make them have to really believe it and respect it, and it changes the game.
And that's the thing that people are saying with getting rid of Fichtner. That could be one of the differences there.
We're gonna see, man. That's the beauty. Time will tell.
We are.
Yeah, I don't even have to go back and forth about the can Ben get it done. No. Time is gonna tell. We're gonna find out. The deep though. Was it Fichtner? Was it this? Was that? All them excuses have been wiped away. Now we just waiting on the clock, baby.
I can't wait.
So I'm good.
I can't wait. The haters
I'm excited.
Dude, yeah. Should I be coming in week 1 just guns blazing?
I mean, didn't you learn from last year?
No.
I'm going to say, yeah. I'm a full body of work guy, man.
Dude, I'm ready, man. I think he's silencing the doubters. I'm seeing a big year coming up.
We're going to see. That's all I'm going to say. We going to see, man.